In the next step, we want to calculate our utility costs and find out what is the price for upgrading the biogas to biomethane. At least in this step, ignoring the investment costs, so we will only see the OPEX, the operational expenditures here. We can easily check our overall consumption. We go here to the home screen and the reports. Here we can look at the mass and energy balance. This gives us a good overview of how much electricity is consumed. This is the field here, power added. So we have 154 kilowatt of electricity, which is required. And we can see here we need cooling energy, which is at 176 kilowatt. Okay, of course, these energies have different prices. So in this process, we don't have heating, but commonly for heating, we would use steam, which might be produced by natural gas or even by our own biogas that we produce. And steam definitely has a different price than the electricity that we need for our machines. And for cooling, we would need cooling machines. So chillers, compression cooling machines commonly are used, and these require again electricity, but not in the whole range of the cooling energy required. So here we will work with the coefficient of performance, the COP value, which will give us the required electricity for a compression cooling machine to provide our cooling energy. Yeah, and how can we bring all this together? Therefore, we will use the DataMap feature implemented in CHEMCAD. So we can find it here on the Explorer tree. Here we have the data maps. Another option to go there is in the Tools section. Where we can find the data map, and we will create a new data map. And it is, like the name says, just the mapping between Excel and CHEMCAD. So here I can access any flowsheet variable and send it to Excel. In Excel, I can do my calculations, can even use some VBA and things like this, which we don't need in the moment. And then the calculated value, we can also send it back to CHEMCAD. So we will create a new Excel table, which now CHEMCAD created this Excel file. When we open it, we'll see Excel opens, but it is just an empty file at the moment. So we will work on this file. We can define here which fields we would like to have. So if we look at our flow sheet, put these two windows together. We want to find the electricity consumption of our compressors. So here we can write the field electricity. And here we have compressor 8. Then we have compressor 10. And compressor 12. And the pump. So CHEMCAD will send the values of electricity as we selected kilowatt hours. The unit here will be kilowatt. We can calculate here the total as a sum of these fields. You see, we can use all the actual functionality here. Only let's write some dummy values here. And this is English, so Summe in German. And then we transfer from CHEMCAD the values to these fields, and then we can calculate the total electricity consumption. So here we can put the cooling. So we have the heat exchanger 9, which is cooling the compressed biogas. And we have our heat exchanger 5, which is cooling the water. This is also in kilowatt. Then here we can give the COP values, so they might be different. For the moment, let me use a COP value of 3 here, which means to produce like 30 kilowatt of cooling, I require 10 kilowatt of electricity. So the value written here will be divided by the COP value. I think CHEMCAD will send negative values here because it's cooling. So let's use -1 and -1. And then here we have the electricity for cooling. Which we can calculate by dividing this value by minus the COP. And kilowatt. Again, we can have here a total. Just move this over here. Kilowatt. Here there's no meaning. So the total electricity required by our cooling chillers. Then might be nice to have in the same window our product. So here we can have our biomethane that we produce. Let's put here in this field the concentration. Oh, we can send it over there, the concentration, and here the amount, the mass rate, volume rate, and let's take the heating value. These are values with which we can later calculate the different ways to specify the biogas. So sometimes we have it per kilogram of natural gas that we pay per standard cubic meter of natural gas is also common, or by heating value. Okay, so we have our fields defined. Yeah, we put here the units. This would be kilogram per hour. There would be kilowatt, cubic meter per hour. And this would be probably kilojoule per kilogram. We will check this later. Okay, so here is my Excel table defined, and now I can define my data map to specify where we send our values. So the map rule here would be to worksheet only. We start with the first compressor, so this is unit op number 8, and the parameter that we send is the actual power consumption, and the field it should go to is C3. Next variable, unit of 10, actual power, and the field is C4. So I will not record this completely. So in the next step, we will have our data map automatically filled, and then I will show you how to calculate the overall cost of electricity for upgrading our biogas.